Most of you will probably find this Yap session a bit controversial. You can already see it in the title, but I do think that loot huggers are more toxic than non-loot huggers, and I know how ridiculous that sounds. Please give me a chance to explain my thought process first. On the surface, loot huggers seem fine, right? Like this is some cute creature that they just refuse to kill, and they'll probably pet it instead or something. But for a second, we have to consider the reality of the situation. The loot bug is like a made-up little creature that probably Mikkel or somebody else made it up and put it in the game, with the intention of providing some bonus loot to the players. Hence the name Loot Bug. So the original intention is, oh, you find this creature, you kill it, and then, oh, you get some gold and maybe a little bit of nitra even to help you out with the resupplies. And later on, the petting animation was added, and then you can pet like 50 different things in the game now. That's a whole different thing, but anyway, that's the basis of a loot bug. It happened to have cute little hamster noises and disgusting mouth sounds when it moves around, but that's besides the point. Now I'll be getting to my points as to why I think loot huggers are more toxic, and with this understanding of the mechanic within the context of the game, you probably will understand my side a little better maybe, or at least my thought process you'll understand. Because typically, when a player just starts playing the game and they have very little context of the community of the game, they will kill a loot bug. Because it's in the name, it's a loot bug. They'll kill it, they'll get the gold or nitra. Maybe not literally all of them, but I think most of them will. Just to get some extra gold and some extra money, like, why not? But let me make 3 little points as to why loot huggers are inherently more toxic than just being neutral or someone that is bloodthirsty for them. Which I fall in the latter category, probably. Let's be real for a second. Okay, number 1. Let's say you have one of those weird missions where nitra is just difficult to find, and you need like 7 or 5 more nitra to get the next resupply. You're desperate for it, you're about to fight the last dreadnought of the mission, but for some reason that nitra just isn't fucking showing itself. And on top of that, no loot bugs show themselves either. Except, it does. One loot bug shows up for the loot hugger of the team. But this loot hugger refuses to kill loot bugs under any circumstance, hence missing whatever nitra they could have gotten from that loot bug. So they decide not to kill a thing that doesn't exist, which ultimately affects 3 real people that this person is playing with right now that does affect. That is a little toxic, not inherently straight up toxic, but definitely, you have to agree with me there, right? Like, it's a bit off. Anyway, point 2, just having a loot hugger in the lobby creates this stigma against killing loot bugs. It creates this like awkward moment. Maybe you'll see him pet a loot bug and then you'll kill the loot bug because you wanted to get the golden nitra. And then this guy will like awkwardly stare at you like, you know, it's a funny meme, haha, but it does create the stigma in the lobby. Even if you're just joking around, you might start thinking that, is this guy not getting me up because I killed a loot bug? Do I have to really wait for other players to get me up? It's a whole thing, and this is kind of a loose point, I will admit myself, but the biggest point, and number 3, this is pretty much why I don't like loot bugs and why I go out of my way to kill them, sometimes wasting ammo deliberately. It's because loot hugger hosts can be very toxic. I've heard stories of loot huggers kicking players for killing loot bugs. And in my head, I'm picturing a greenbeard that started playing the game not that long ago. And he's killing the loot bugs hoping to help out the team. Like, oh shit, here's the like creature and we need some nitra, I'll kill it. And the loot hugger host spots him kill it. And then proceeds to kick a real player over killing something that's not real and completely made up by some dude. Okay, you might think I'm fucking around, but I have absolutely heard stories of this happening. I don't have receipts, I'll admit it. Those receipts are like, you have to dig for like fucking archives of Discord chats, but I have absolutely heard of these situations. Nobody would doubt this part, I'm pretty sure, but loot huggers have been known to team damage or even team kill people for killing or hurting loot bugs. It has literally happened to me when I was a host. I remember specifically shooting a loot bug and then the guy like taps me with his like little stubby or something. I dare you to say that that's not toxic, I guess. It literally is in the most objective manner. I shot a thing that's not real, and then I get shot at for shooting the thing that's not real. But I'm a real person. Well, I mean, maybe I'm AI, I don't know. But, you know. But I think you get my point. At least you should understand where I'm coming from. But I guess I should think about the opposite end of the story, right? Well then, yeah, let's think on it for a second. Somebody that incessantly kills loot bugs, they see somebody walk past a loot bug and ignore it. What are the chances that this player will actually act against a player that ignored the loot bug? Minuscule? Like, I'd say it's in the -1 digits, like 0 point something, you know? But then when you think about someone that insists on not killing loot bugs and pet them all the time, if they saw you damage a loot bug, do you think they would at least shoot at you? I think the chances already seem like a lot higher than just a single digit. To me, the chances of that happening is like, I'd say roughly 30% that a loot hugger will shoot you for hurting or killing a loot bug, or do anything that's negative. So yeah, that's why I think being a loot hugger is more toxic than not being one. And just in case you're still outraged and you refuse to understand that a loot bug is not a real thing and was just put into the game that people worship way too much, then I will direct you to the publish date of this video. In case you're from Australia or something, it's supposed to be April 1st. Good luck figuring out if I'm just bullshitting you or if these are my actual thoughts. Only a few people will actually know the answer to that question, but you will never be 100% certain if these are my real thoughts about the situation. So with that, I'll end the yap session here. Hopefully next time I'll have a yap session about something more important. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to do yap sessions. My brain has to be in a specific mode for me to be able to just yap my guts out, I guess. But ultimately, I do want to make these videos a lot more often. See ya.